Good evening and welcome to Sunset News this Monday evening. As always, we bring you news, community stories, economics, weather and sports. I am Aina Kweo. In the news tonight, the government has made a total of 67 million Namibian dollars from 47 auctions held during the 2022-2023 financial year and is in the process of introducing a swipe system at the government stores to ensure the auction process are seamless. In total, the Works Ministry requested 644 million Namibian dollars for this financial year. Namibia managed construction projects of well over 2.4 billion Namibian dollars and has also in the meantime completed the 2020 property valuation ongoing, with the Agriculture Ministry has completed their part, while the alienation of the government non-assigned houses has commenced. The Ministry of Works has also written to several offices, ministries and government agencies to relinquish those assigned houses that they are unable to utilize into the pool so that they can be allocated to staff members. Now, in our next story, after allegedly slapping Elena, a teacher from El Dorado Secondary School was stabbed with a screwdriver by a disgruntled parent. The victim, identified as Kalola by the head of Department of Languages, Rachel Dendek, is considered to be stable and recovering at home. Master Kalola is very disturbed. His condition physically and mentally is not stable, she said. The teachers of the school feel unsafe and are equally traumatized by the event, Dendek explained. The Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture will be launching an investigation into the matter to understand the events that transpired before the incident. We have advised the school to open a case. We will conduct a full investigation, said Knox Imbua, the Deputy Executive Director of the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture. Moving on to our next story. Paulus Noah, the director of the Anti-Corruption Commission, said that they are now studying the documentary evidence handed over to them by the National Petroleum Corporation of Namibia Managing Director Ims Mulunga and two members of his ExCom. Now, the anti-corruption body who had summoned Mulunga met with him on Friday to discuss the claims that he allegedly sanctioned a payment exceeding 100 million Namibian dollars for two Angolan oil blocks without the board's blessing. The meeting went very well. There was no problem. We are busy with it. They provided us with all the documents that we requested, and we are studying if it has to do with the what being alleged of 100 million Namibian dollars and other matters at that company. When finished analyzing the document is when we will decide whether it is necessary to call the board members. Now we move over to our next story. The spotlight has once more been placed on the Namibia's important unemployment crisis as the Deputy Minister of Labour, Industrialization and Employment Creation, Hafeni Ndemula, made remarks stating that his ministry is not to blame for the country's lack of employment. I note that some of our opposition politicians and social activists has found it politically opportune to blame my ministry for not creating jobs. This reflects a basic lack of understanding of what is required to create employment and a misunderstanding of the ministry's mandate, he remarked during his parliamentary budget motivation. Ndemula further clarified that his ministry's mandate is to coordinate employment creation and not to create jobs directly. Jobs are created by employers in the private and public sector and state-owned enterprises through self-employment. Now, in our community segment, the Aikhams paraded their traditional attire through Windhoek City Centre during the weekend. We'll take a look shortly after the break.
Sport Wrap is a daily show focusing on all sport news and current affairs. If you would like to feature your brand or campaign on this platform, contact sportrap@synergy.com.ma.
In our community segment, the Khaigams paraded their traditional attire through Windhoek City Centre during the weekend. It is also the first time that this community introduced their traditional attire for men. Rosa Namises, a community member, shares more. Let's have a look.
Vir 'n baie lang tyd dink ons dat ons as die mense altyd vir ander mense kan gee. Terwyl ons ons kultuur het, terwyl ons al hierdie dinge het. En een van die dinge is die rok. Horokwesa. Horo means om so by mekaar gebring te word. Horokwesa. En kwes means a mens. Horokwesa. So die rok kom toch baie lang aan van die tydser onderdrukking. Dit is daar die tyd waar ons groot mense in die kombuise gewerk het. Maar ons het die vel aangetrek. En van die vel af wou die dames van die huis nie hê dat onze mooi moeders met kaal liggame, half kaal, soos hulle gesê het, moet kom nie. En daar is daar kledingstukke van Duitsland af materiaal ingevoer. En hierdie materiaal moes hulle self design. Men het hulle geweet dat hulle 'n design van die Victorian dress gegee word. En hulle het vir die dames gewerk en die afval het hulle vir hulle die rokke meegemaak. Daar kom die ngabarokes vandaan. En dan het hulle verder gebesluit, omdat het geverwag word van die master, dat hulle klere moet aantrek, het hulle vir hulle self hierdie rok gemaak. Die rok is 'n design piece. Dit is 'n Gucci piece. Lisa Nukwe Gucci designers. Dit is hulle wat hierdie piece maak. Die rok is iets wat vir ons kultuur gewees. Regtig waar. Die nodige confidence gee. Ons het iets wat onderdrukking verteenwoordig het gevat en dit as 'n power tool vir onsself gemaak. En dit is hoekom dit so belangrik is. Die rok wat ons vandag aan het, verteenwoordig die aloe vera plant. Die aloe vera is medisyne. Dit is medisyne wat ons groot mense vir jare gebruik het. Die aloe vera is iets wat die wonde kan genees. Dit is iets wat die liggaam kan reinig. Die aloe vera is ook 'n langdurende plant. Kom droogte, kom winter, kom somer, kom die reenseisoen. Die aloe vera blossom in hierdie seisoens. Dit verander in hierdie seisoens. En dit is wat menslik ook van ons kom. Ons het hier die aloe vera teken as 'n windhoek. Ons is van Thomas. Is nie Thomas nie, is Thomas. Ons is van Thomas. Ons noem onsself Nisa Tamara Darati van Aikams. En hierdie is Aikams. Is nie Aikams nie, is Aikams. Dis die hot springs en is daarbo. Daar is die warm water. Daar die groot dam waar die mense healing gekry het, waar hulle van water gedrink het. En hierdie rok verteenwoordig al hierdie symbols van Aikams. Dis ook belangrik om te sê, ons het die rok na die aloe geneem, omdat ons dink, dit is iets wat ancient sal staan. En dit sal ook vir ons kinders staan. Ons kinders en hulle se kinders sal dit sien. So hierdie rok sal in Windhoek se geleenthede, Aikams se geleenthede, ons sal dit aantrek. Hierdie rok sal ons aantrek as 'n bewysstuk dat ons hier behoort, dat ons ancestors hier behoort. Hulle se grafte is hierso, hulle se lewe is hierso.
In our story of the day segment, the Namibia Asset Management gives back after the break.
My.NA Property Show provides viewers with the best in-class content, engaging interviews, as well as a showcase of the latest property-related products and services. If you would like to feature your brand or your campaign on this platform, contact My.NA at synergy.com.na. My.NA Properties, more than just a roof over your head.
As part of their corporate social responsibility, Namibia Asset Management recently organized a bursary handover ceremony at the University of Namibia Foundation to support higher education in Namibia. The event was a glamorous affair, bringing together various critical stakeholders in the advancement of higher education in the country and resulting in 7 students being awarded bursaries. At the ceremony, Ferdinand Gideon, UNAM Pro Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, expressed gratitude towards Namibia Asset Management for their efforts in alleviating the financial burden faced by Namibian families and, in so doing, enabling students to complete their academic journeys. Tara Shanika, CEO of Namibia Asset Management, stated that although they received numerous applications for student bursaries, only a select group of students were unfortunately deemed eligible due to limited resources. Successful student selection was based on 2 criteria. This included the academic performance of the students and the financial need of the students after a thorough background check, explained Shanika. Bernadette Bock, the executive director of UNAM Foundation, remarked that there is no doubt that education is the foundation for economic development, as it is the acquisition of utility of knowledge that drives our nation. In our economic news, after the break, we take a look at oil powers to cut production in May.
NMH at 1 brings you news from all across Namibia. If you would like to feature your brand or campaign on this platform, contact NMH1 at synergy.com.na. NMH at 1, your lunchtime news companion.
Major oil powers led by Saudi Arabia announced a surprise production cut of more than 1 million barrels per day. The reductions on top of a Russian decision to extend a cut of 500,000 per barrel, and despite U.S. calls to increase production, risk staking inflation and pressure to rise asset rates. Cuts by Saudi Arabia, Iraq, UAE, Kuwait, Algeria and Oman from May to the end of the year will top 1 million barrels per day, the biggest reduction since the OPEC cartel slashed 2 million barrels per day in October. Namibia's 10 billion Namibian dollars import bill in January 2023 was mainly driven by the petroleum oils sourced from Saudi Arabia, Malaysia and Singapore. Now we take a look at our economic indicators. The Namibian dollar trades at 70 Namibian dollars 77 cents to the US and 90 Namibian dollars 38 cents to the euro. It trades at 22 Namibian dollars 5 cents to the pound and 2 Namibian dollars 58 cents by yuan Chinese yuan. Zinc is trading at 2,906 US dollars, while Brent crude oil is up by 6.42%, trading at 84 US dollars and 84 cents per barrel. In our international news slot, Malaysia ends the mandatory death penalty for serious crimes. When we return.
Ohole So Nice is an entertainment show brought to you by the youth for the youth. This is a dating show that allows individuals to participate and be their own true selves. If you would like to feature your brand or campaign on this platform, contact zone@synergy.com.na.
Malaysia's parliament has voted to remove the country's mandatory death penalty, potentially sparing more than 1,300 prisoners on death row. The country has a moratorium on execution since 2018, but the abolition now removes the death penalty as the mandatory sentence for 11 serious crimes, including murder and terrorism. Judges have retained the discretion to impose a capital punishment in exceptional cases, but for the most serious crimes, the courts will now favor life imprisonment sentences of up to 40 years or corporal punishment, such as caning, lawmakers said. Speaking in Parliament on Monday, Malaysia's Deputy Law Minister said capital punishment was irreversible and had not worked as a deterrent to crime. The death penalty has now brought the death penalty has not brought the result it was intended to bring, said Ramapal Singh. After the break, we return with weather. Stay with us. Let's have a look at the weather predictions for tomorrow. A partly sunny weather is expected in the north with Enana at 34 degrees and Rakana also at 34 degrees. A partly sunny weather is expected along the coast with a high of 23 degrees in Walvis Bay and 21 degrees in Henties Bay. In the sports section tonight, two-time Namibian national time trial champion Melissa Hintsa achieved a phenomenal result at the Tour de Brisbane.
Straight Talk is a debate competition for high school learners and a spelling competition for primary school learners, mostly focusing on current affairs among the youth. Contact Zone at synergy.com.na to share your products and services. Straight Talk. Don't raise your voice, improve your argument.
In sports news tonight, starting with cycling news, two-time Namibian national time trial champion Melissa Hintsa achieved a phenomenal result at the Tour de Brisbane in Australia on Sunday. The 37-year-old finished in overall second place in the 80 kilometers women's race and also won her age category. To top it all off, she also qualified for the UCI Grand Fondo World Championship Series, formerly known as UCI World Cycling Tour. In our next story, the Namibian men's cricket team, the Richelieu Eagles, suffered a crucial loss in their ICC World Cup qualifier playoff match against the United Arab Emirates on Sunday. The 28-run defeat leaves the host team on the brink of possible elimination in the 6-team tournament, from which the two nations will proceed to the final World Cup qualification event in Zimbabwe in June. The Eagles have one match remaining against Canada on Tuesday, but even a win may not be enough for them to survive the cut. In Debmarine Namibia Premier League, defending champions Black Africa relegation battle intensified when they lost 1-0 to Tura Magic on Sunday. Black Africa, who had won the Premier League 10 times, was defeated when Nicodemus Haikali scored 2 goals for Tura Magic in matches elsewhere in Sunday. Log leader African Stars continued their impressive form this season with a 3-0 win against Julinos Sporting in Marienthal. Second place Blue Waters had a successful trip from Valfish Bay to Rehoboth, where they beat Orlando Pirates 2-1. After the break, we return with highlights. Stay with us.
Chill Sessions is an entertainment show that brings you the latest hit, fashion, and entertainment news. If you would like to feature your brand or campaign on this platform, contact chill@synergy.com.na. Chill Sessions, bringing art and entertainment to the people.
The Evening Review is a daily interview-based talk show that dissects and expounds on current affairs as they occur in Namibia. The show aims at reaching Namibians of all age groups who seek better understanding of the state of current affairs in the country. This show is broadcasted on NTV, Oneuptwo.com, and cross-shared on the following Facebook platforms: Namibian Sun and Namibia Media Holdings. The Evening Review focuses on interviews, latest news, and up-to-the-minute current events. Contact evening@synergy.com.na. Evening Review, unpacking today's pertinent issues.
The Regional Review brings you news, views, and interviews from NMH correspondents from across the country. If you would like to feature your brand or campaign on this platform, contact regional@synergy.com.na.
Thank you very much for joining us on Sunset News this evening. Now here are the highlights. The government has made a total of 67 million Namibian dollars from 47 auctions held during the 2022-2023 financial year and is in the process of introducing a swipe system at the government stores to ensure the auction processes are seamless. After allegedly slapping a learner, a teacher from El Dorado Secondary School was stabbed with a screwdriver by the disgruntled parent. The victim, identified as Kalola by the head of the Department of Languages, Rachel Denting, is considered to be stable and recovering at home. Starting with cycling news, two-time Namibian national time trial champion Melissa Hens achieved a phenomenal result at the Tour de Brisbane in Australia on Sunday. The 37-year-old finished in overall second place in the 80 kilometers women's race and also won her age category. To top it all off, she also qualified for the UCI Gran Fondo World Championship Series, formerly known as the UCI World Cycling Tour. And with that, we've come to the end of tonight's broadcast. Please do make sure you join Sunset News on Facebook, on all NMH platforms on weekdays, as well as on our website, which is called Oneuptwo. Sunset News screens on DSTV channel 285 as well as GoTV channel 94 every weekday from 7:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. This has been Sunset News. Please don't end your day without us. Good night.